It's Thursday, November 6th on the North Coast, and it's the end of a beautiful day that belies the melee that occurred just 3 days before. Large puffy clouds inhabit the horizon, where dozens of commercial crabbers dot the skyline, their lights looking like a small city out in the open sea. It's stunning and ethereal, not quite what's going on in the human world. Coastal residents are used to storms, but they're not used to power going out for this long. Still, we were surprised to find people in such good moods. Sunday and Monday brought a mountain of damage to the Oregon coast. Flooding, high winds, forests snapped in half, and buildings ravaged by gusts as high as 130 miles per hour. BeachConnection.net surveyed a lot of the damage this day, finding the sides of Highway 26 filled with the remnants of downed trees, as were parts of Highway 101 between Seaside and Manzanita. Once you get into Seaside, you start to see the human toll of the storm. The gas station here is torn apart. Roofers are already putting it back together. They've been pumping gas by hand here for the last couple of days, hence the $4 per gallon sign. The inn at Seaside no longer has a sign. Debris from a roof lies in an alleyway. And the Nehalem Bay was seriously torn up in places, like this road sign that now leans against a guardrail. On Seaside's promenade, the Sand and Sea condominiums sustained a bit of damage and is running on a big generator. The rest of the promenade seems okay, no apparent damage. Other residents didn't fare so well. In a disturbing incident, BeachConnection.net's own Jenny Maxwell suffered broken ribs when she fell through the second floor of her own house. The wind had blown out the windows and then soaked the floor so badly it gave way beneath her. Look everywhere in Seaside and no one has power. There are no traffic lights, and any business that's open is doing so without electricity. It's about 3 o'clock on this Thursday, and this part of the North Coast wouldn't have power again until 24 hours from now. At this point, power companies were still predicting power would be on around 3 a.m. They made it another 12 hours after that. Later this night, on Highway 26, a fleet of power utility trucks is parked at the restaurant Camp 18. They're still working feverishly throughout the next few days to get power back on everywhere. At the Seaside Aquarium, manager Keith Chandler had his hands full throughout the storm and for days afterwards. He had to keep the generators going to keep the fish alive. During the storm, he actually had to lean out a second-story window in that horrendous wind to fix the sign and keep it from falling away. Out in front of the Seaside Aquarium, the landscape was changed by the storm. The dune grass is flattened here and slightly covered by drifts of sand. But if you go just a bit south on the promenade, you won't find that. Chandler says it's a normal part of the process of how dunes grow. An interesting side note, roots of these dune grass plants go down as deep as 15 feet. Down the road, towards Cannon Beach, there were still more signs things hadn't been completely cleaned up just yet. One tree was still leaning precariously on a power cable. In Cannon Beach, Voltano's Pizza came through without any damage. The power was still a struggle, says owner Dave Johnson. The city of Cannon Beach was about to set up one big generator to supply some juice, as officials weren't sure when full power would be restored.
Well, our understanding is that there's a large generator that's getting ready to come online. In fact, I think some places are online already. They're doing like a block at a time to make sure there isn't a surge problem with the power. So what we've done now is we're on generator. All of our main breakers are switched to the building. They're flipped off. That way we can get the power on, and then, you know, when they tell us they're ready, then we'll come online with it. We've got generators running right now. They're sustaining us for the time being. Not enough to operate, but to protect our food, our product. And then, so once those come online, then of course we got to switch everything back over to the regular electricity. Okay. So it's just kind of a waiting game now. It could be any minute, and then we'll be getting power.
So how much are you going to be running on both your generator and what they supply?
No, their generator's supposed to take care of things. So they said don't run anything you don't need to run, because it's going to go down the line, and whatever's left will keep going down the line. So we're all going to try to conserve as much as we can, or not take what we don't need. So
Johnson had a few wild experiences of his own during the storm, including feeling his truck getting lifted up by the wind. But other than that, not much.
You know, we had some trees. There were a couple trees on our property or the adjacent property right on the line that came down. Nothing that affected us, no fences, nothing like that. We didn't have any damage at home, even shingles or anything like that.
Really?
Here at this building, no real problems. It was certainly real windy here, but you know, maybe just the way the winds came in that we were a little bit sheltered right here.
And your holiday decorations stayed up, huh?
They stayed up. My landscaping outfit that put those up for me did a nice job, and I'm glad I had them do it instead of me, because if I had, they'd probably be down right now.
That's cool. Many took the whole experience in strides. In spite of no hot showers for a few days, people seemed to be having a good time. Like this group in front of the Cannon Beach Cookie Company, who were barbecuing and kicking back a few beers. We spotted some oddities. One thing we couldn't explain was how a bird got stuck inside this pizza shop. You have to look closely. In Manzanita, the Little Apple Grocery barbecued a bunch of meat that would otherwise go bad and gave it away. People were in good spirits, said Sarah and Jan, who work there. They also talked about their adventures.
I almost lost my dog in it. It's just been more fun here because the whole community comes in here. People come in here to get information and ask, have we heard what's going on? And the fact that Chung and Judy are supporting, food, the hot food up at the Pine Grove and just providing it for people. People, I haven't come across very many, have you, that have been grumpy or anything? What can you do? You can make the best of it. It's been sad that some people we know have lost houses. There's been a couple of deaths in the community that have hit us. But overall, the spirits are high, and, all you can do is laugh about it.
Right.
Yeah. My family congregates at my sister's house. There's 10 of us, and we just have a ball. I can tell you, though, we said, like Toto in The Wizard of Oz, I put my dog out on the deck Sunday night. It's a 4.5-pound toy poodle. Literally, she was this far off my deck, and I had to grab her and bring her back in. There was a gust coming up, and it caught her, a chair behind her, and everything. That's why I said I almost lost my dog.
What continually strikes me about this whole area is that there are no street lights on the road. Here I am, like about 4 miles south of Cannon Beach in the Arch Cape area, where I can actually see some lights, some street lamps out there in the neighborhoods of Arch Cape. Now, apparently what they've done is they were going to take one generator. They had one up in Cannon Beach, and they were going to take another one down here and help light up Arch Cape. But along 101 and down there in Manzanita and anywhere else around the coast right now, there are no street lights, which makes the whole drive up and down 101 a lot darker. In fact, even the Arch Cape Tunnel has no lights. It's completely dark, which is really kind of disconcerting and odd.
In Manzanita, the Sand Dune Pub had a generator and a bundle of thankful patrons who had a warm place to gobble hot food. There was even TV news going to keep people informed. Still, one bartender pleaded with me to take her back to civilization in Portland. The power would return to Manzanita later this night.
Here we go. There we go. Now maybe you can see me. I'm not sure how well you can see me here, but I just left the bar in Manzanita there, the Sand Dune, and there is now a car's coming up. It's rather eerie here on Lanita. You can't see a thing because there's absolutely no lights. Just now you can see a car coming up, and it sort of lights things up a bit. And it's actually other than that, it's quite beautiful, really. It's chilly, but the stars are out in full, and it's just gorgeous, to tell you the truth, to look up at. And people are pretty much in good spirits and having a blast. Yeah, there we go. And the only other problem is, I just left the Sand Dune a minute ago, and couldn't see a thing and couldn't tell where my car was. Luckily now I can see where my car is now that another car has got their lights shining. This is Andre from BeachConnection.net reporting from Manzanita.